Good morning, everyone. Welcome today to our speech. Today is Sunday, our public meeting. Today I'm gonna talk about free will, a self-development path. My name is Juliana, and I'm with the group since 2000, with the Spirituous group since 2011, and I've been volunteering since then. So we can start first. Welcome everyone. Good morning. It's a lovely morning, lovely Sunday. Hope everyone will enjoy today because it's gonna be 19 degrees, which is a heat wave. Came a bit late, but yeah, good. Anyway, let's gonna start with our first prayer, our initial prayer. And if everyone would like to sit comfortably, give a deep breath. Connect to the spiritual world, to their mentors. I'd like first to ask permission to the spirituality and the mentors of this group for their speech today. May your words be spoken here. May your love, your blessing be spread in all of us. So be it. Okay. So I'm gonna start with free will. So our first, I have to go this way now. Let's gonna see the definition. The definition we have for free will. According to the Collins Dictionary, it's the ability to make choices that are not externally determined, ability to make decisions without outside coercion. And we use our free will every day. And it's decision making. We use decision making to choose this, to choose that, what you're gonna do everywhere. This is something we are born with. It's part of our freedom. And that's one of the reasons we are reincarnating here on Earth. It's because we need to exercise our free will wisely. Let's put in this way. So, to talk about free, we cannot talk about freedom. We need to talk about freedom first. And say, according to the Spiritism, we have those laws in the Spiritism. They sometimes we call them nature laws or God's law. It's God's law, but those laws, they are there again, not to punish, but to make sure the universe, everything that we living around us can live together, and to make order. How can I put it this way? To make work, everything's gonna work in, because you have those laws. Once you break those laws, there's consequences, never punishment. Although sometimes we feel like this, and especially religion has a way of treating this as punishment when you break those laws. No, it's actually a consequences, so we can learn and try not to do it again. So I'm going to talk about freedom today, and about law of liberty. It's just some questions from the Spirituous book that we have in talks, and when Allan Kardec asked the spirits about freedom, and then as a scientific researcher, he goes asking for questions until you can develop the subject with the answers they get. So I'm going to start with the question 825. Allan Kardec asks the spirits, are there any positions in the world where the individual enjoys absolute freedom? No, because all of you need one another, from the most powerful to the most impoverished. We all need. That's one of the reasons why we reincarnate. We we don't have absolute freedom because we need to live together with each other, in society. That's another law as well, law of society, that talks about this, our need and why we need to live in society. We need to live in society. I'm not saying, uh, in ways, not society. We say, but we need each other to survive, or, to learn from each other. We need to learn from each other. So that's how we it's our self-development path as well. So, of course, what would be the condition in which a person could enjoy absolute freedom? Because they said, no, we don't have freedom. And then he goes, are you sure? There is any condition that we could enjoy absolute freedom? Then the spirit says, yeah, as a hermit on the desert, which means alone, no one else beside, uh, as a hermit on the desert. Because as soon as two people find each other, they have reciprocal rights and duties to respect and are no longer absolutely free. And that's our life on earth. We are not absolutely free because we have duties and we have rights. Uh, when Jesus says, love your neighbor as yourself, don't do to the others what you don't want to do, wouldn't like to do with you. All this, is that part of the freedom. Yes, I can enjoy absolute freedom, but I have a duty to respect as well, respecting my neighbor. So my freedom ends when start the the neighbor's freedom or rights, my rights, your rights, my duties. And we all have reciprocal. So it's both sides, it's not just me, it's both sides to respect this, you know, respect this freedom. And this is a lot of the problems we encounter today anyway, because we are not able to respect. We don't, because we have, we are different beings, we have ways of um, different ways of thinking, of something that for me it might be okay to do this, and even someone does that to me, I'm okay, but not for the other. We look a lot, we are a lot of individualists, live in we created the society very individualist, um, especially the Western world. It's more this, it's me, and we don't think more about that much from the next, to you, that one that's right next to you, not just people with we are we have relations, relationships, but exactly one next to me as well. And it's hard, and it's not something we do, it's easy to define. And no, it's not, it's hard for everyone. But anyway, let's going to talk about more freedom, because he keeps asking, it's just like, inquiring. That's the scientific method he uses, inquiring. uh, so you can get as much information as possible, and then you cross check all this information. That's why that's one of the reasons we say this is not just, it's not a religion, it's a philosophy, a scientific study about the phenomena, about everything that explain, that on that we can't see or can't explain. It is explained in the Spirit's book. So, continuing, is there anything in human beings that escape all limitations and of which they enjoy absolute freedom? They enjoy unbounded freedom in their thoughts, as there are no obstacle to thoughts. While it may be hindered, thoughts cannot be extinguished. It's kind of, you cannot put you on your thoughts, you are, because it's just between you. you and God, actually, just between you and God, because your thoughts, and we know in the spiritism, our thoughts as well also vibrate and connect to the same vibration. So we do experience absolute freedom in our thoughts. We still can, depending on our thoughts, there's consequences on, and we feel them. But it's where we enjoy absolute freedom. All the darkness we have inside our house, it can go in the thoughts. But of course, we have a duty to respect when it comes to action, to live in a society like we live, and it's normal. That's for. So it keeps asking, are humans being responsible for their thoughts? They are accountable for them before God. That's what I said. It's between you and God. God alone can know our thoughts and condemns or absolves them according to justice, because we know when we think, we also connecting, and as I said, depending on our thoughts, the vibrations we produce, we're gonna connect with the same vibrations. If I have good thoughts, I can connect with good vibrations, with good spirits. If I have bad thoughts, I'm going to with spirits on the same level. And I'm not saying no bad thoughts to be like murder or something. Even when sometimes we feel too much sadness, crying too much, we are connecting naturally. We are connecting. It's good to be aware that when we have our thoughts, our feelings, we are connecting as well with other people or spirits that are in the same vibration. So this is, again, when we understand our freedom entirely, we are aware how our thoughts affect us. And then in this way, we can be more alert when we start to get, I'm starting to get those thoughts that will attract and make me more down, more depressed, or more sad, or sometimes even suicidal things. Of course, I'm not talking about here exactly the way of the suicide, because this is another topic and a lot more things are involved on this one. But those thoughts can also affect us, influentiate us. So absolute freedom, 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 it's kind of, we will never have. Oh, hey, Marcela, good morning. Welcome. So that's one of the things when we talk about free will, it's important to talk about our freedom, because free will is directly related to, so we can see more or less that we do enjoy freedom. We do in our thoughts, or when we are alone, just me, myself, but we're still accountable with God because of exactly, the thoughts we can have can affect our life, and this will affect our path for self-development, of our path for spiritual growth, and this is going again against another law, which is the law of progress. So that's when we talk about laws, breaking the laws is kind of, the laws are there to keep us on the right path for self-development, for growth, spiritual growth, making always a better version of ourselves. When we break those laws, we kind of going away from that path. So we need consequences to get us back on the path. So that's different. It's not punishment, although it's very painful, but it's not punishment. It's a way that we can, and that's how lives. Not everywhere on the universe is like this. This is a reality on Earth, and that's what important. That's what we have to concentrate on. Anyway, going to the next slide. talking about law of liberty. Do human beings have free will in their actions? Remember, free will as a definition is actually making decision. So you're gonna have an action there. So do they have free will? Since they have freedom of thought, I can think wherever I want, they also have freedom of action. Without free will, they would be nothing more than machines, So of course, at that time, there was artificial intelligence wasn't even something they thought about. So spirits always give the answer where we cannot try to understand as much as possible. But yeah, machines, they don't decide on themselves. They don't choose this or that. They just process, 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 process. So that's why now we can choose. We have our free will to make our choices because we learn with our choices. Our free will. I have the laws that makes, try to get on the right path, but I have to choose because once I choose, I'm learning, like it's practice. We practicing. So again, I make decision that gets me away from my path, my growth, my self-development path, my spiritual growth. The laws are there to kind of say, look, you didn't do this quite right. You need to back and try again. You need to do this. And the way we understand this kind of, sometimes we suffer. Yeah, of course we suffer. Every bad thing that we do, especially, coming from selfishness, we're doing to the other, we're doing to ourselves. We're gonna feel the consequences. That gonna makes us back to the right path. Self-development, development, growth. It's actually exactly, tackling selfishness. And a free will is a tool that we have to tackle selfishness, to make better decisions. It's not going to be always good decisions, but yeah. So as a self path, spirits always possesses free will. So it's something we have. We are born with free will. This free will allows them to choose the trials they elect to endure in the physical life. This is before we reincarnate. We choose everything that we're going to pass. So sometimes we do suffer a lot. And it is because maybe we need to work some parts, of our selfishness. And we choose this one. So we're going to choose everything that we're going to endure, as incarnate when we reincarnate on earth in a human body. This free will allows them to choose the trials they elect to endure in their physical life as incarnates in a human body. It allows us to deliberate wherever we do something or not. Free will is, as a definition, is our choice, to make a choice without creation. This is free will. So ultimately, choosing between the good and bad. To deny humanity's free will would be to reduce human beings to status of mere machines. Again, machines, they process, they don't choose paths, not talking about artificial intelligence, but machines are this, they just process. They don't choose, I'm going to stop now. We have to switch off the machine to stop. So we are not machines. We are human beings, and we are, one of the things we do here on earth is exercise our free will, because our free will is one tool for our personal growth, our tackling, making better version of ourselves. So humans are dependent on their free will. We are dependent on free will, but their experience is subject to certain circumstances according to the map of the services and trials on earth, and outlined by individuality. in harmony with the opinions of their spiritual guides before reincarnation. So what we talks here, and this is Dictionary of the Soul, psychograph by Chico Xavier. Um, we are dependent on our free will, because when we reincarnate, we forget everything that we pass. And this is important because it's kind of, if you remember everything we did wrong, we would be cheating. We need to work our passions. So we need to work. And the free will is that tool to help us to work our passions and make better decisions than we did in previous life. If I knew the people I had murdered and I repented myself, and I would not do again, but that doesn't mean my feelings, or I may murder someone because I was in a rage. It was, and this person was really bad to me, and that's so many things that we need to work actually between ourselves. So that's why we all forget everything, but our passions stay, our feelings stays. And free will is actually a tool that helps us to make this decision again. Am I going to murder you again or not? It's just kind of a very, very black and white, but of course it's not. This is way more complex than that. But is it's the tool that's going to help us make a better version of ourselves, tackle selfishness, be less selfish, because all the evil we see on earth is because of our selfishness. It's all the evil is rooted in the selfishness, and on the Spirit's book explains about this as well. So, as I said, when we exercise our free will and we make choices that we should not be making, we bad choices, or choices that are not in accordance with our self-development plan, what we would be reincarnated, our plans for reincarnation, what happens when we do those decisions, action and reaction. So to help us get back on the right path. And it's sometimes we see it as a punishment, but it's not. We're just not able to understand because we don't remember exactly what we have done in past lives. And to be honest, just the fact that we are here again, that means we have not been good. We're not being that good people. Only a few comes on a mission for, like we can have like Chico Xavier came on a mission. So we have to work a lot on our passions and our development, grow our spiritual development. So action and reaction, we are free to decide our actions, our free will. I decide, although we become slave of their consequences. And it's kind of, you're gonna be, and especially if you keep repeating this error, it's gonna just get worse, 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 and you're gonna be a slave of the consequences, because the laws are there to maintain a harmony between everyone, humans, animals on earth, on the universe, everywhere. So this is something really important when we think, and especially if it bring to today's, how someone talks about this or that, and it might be my opinion, my freedom of speech or something. Your freedom of speech, it's only when it doesn't affect the other. Then you don't have. If affect the other, yes, then it's not. If I talk about something that will have consequences for others, then you're not free anymore. Again, as we said, our freedom, we don't enjoy absolute freedom unless it's on our thoughts or a hermit on the desert. When you speak, especially in social media publicly, or if you are someone is an influencer and do their my freedom of speech or anything, you have to think, you have to realize, is this you know going to impact someone else because of my opinion? you know our words are powerful, you know and it hurts people. Just like punching someone, it hurts, sometimes even more. It hurts. So we have to think, we don't enjoy absolute freedom. you know that's what a lot of people confuse liberty with. I'm not gonna pronounce this correctly. Liberty with libertinage. Our liberty, it's always end when the next to us freedom starts. Our right and when our next to us starts. So this is it. It's a very, very basic yet difficult task to know, to be aware. This. No one's that fully aware of everyone, and you know, Zen, and it's very cannot hurt this or that. We hurt people. We do of ourselves. Important things is because we are, all on our growth path, on our self-development, on the building better versions of ourselves, we can always, look back. Oh yeah, wasn't quite right, and we can make it right. We can say sorry, I did that. You can, you know, that's a way that we will also, because we're gonna work our humbleness. It's exactly opposite of selfishness. We don't need to be selfish enough, to say, oh no, that's my opinion, I don't care what the others think, or what impacts others. No, we can, it's we can work our humbleness, and this is a path, for our self-development. We grow on that. We grow spiritually. So that's why free will is important. Again, free will is our tool for making choices. We're gonna make choices, and according to our choices, we are free to decide our actions, our choices. Although we have to feel the consequences of those actions. Good actions will bring good consequences. Bad actions will bring bad consequences. That's as simple as that. Every time we do a bad action, we're breaking a law, you know? And the way to maintain the harmony of the universe, then it's actually, to make us back to the path, we're gonna suffer a little bit, but that's not punishment. That's one of the things I always like to talk about. We're not punished. We just being slaves of our consequences. Anyway, so free will and responsibility. So we talk about, having rights and responsibility, rights and duties as soon as we live together. We only freedom if we're alone. We depend, but that's not human being. We depend on each other, to survive. You know, some people can do alone, can, but they're not gonna learn much. We learn with our next, especially, with those ones we don't get along to, we don't like, we don't enjoy. Those ones are the ones that teach us more. So duty is a moral obligation, first to ourselves and then to others. You know, again, two commandments that Jesus gave: love God above all, love your neighbor as yourself. First yourself, and then to the others. So duty, respect, rights, first yourself and then the others. Duty is a law of life encountered in the smallest details as well in the most elevated acts. Duty of the heart, when faithfully observed, elevates man. And this, when we say elevates, means like we tackle selfishness, we grow, we make a better version of ourselves, when we're not talking about duty here that we have to do it. It's something we do happily, But how can we define it with exactitude? That's the thing. How can we define duty, you know, faithfully observed, exactly how it is? Where duty begins? Where does it end? Duty begins exactly at the point where the happiness or tranquility of our neighbor is threatened. So that's where we begin. So my freedom of speech, of my opinion, is it, bothering happiness or tranquility of our neighbor? If yes, then our duty is to say sorry. I shouldn't be speaking this, and therefore terminates at the limit we would not wish to be passed in relation to ourselves. Is the speech of other, is the opinion of other, or is what the other doing affecting me, you know, that's when, their duty finishes and they have a responsibility to say, yeah, I shouldn't do that. This is not right, and as I said, it's difficult because we have kind of different levels, sometimes what uh, doesn't bother me, it bothers the other, but we have to watch. If it bothers the other, then just leave it. Don't do it. It's not worth it, fighting for this one, or being that pride person, this is my duty, or anything. Now, on the same on the other side, it's not just one side, it's both, it's reciprocal. That's the important thing, both sides. Sometimes it's only one side, not the other. Both sides, they have to, it's reciprocal. Duty and responsibility, duty and rights, same thing, the same on a dual way, you know. I do, you do, and then we're gonna live more peacefully, tranquility. That's all we want. I mean, that's most things, we want peace. Anyway, so I'll be finished with this one. I don't like much the the picture, but it does illustrate well, Not all that I want, I can. Neither all that I can, I must. I have a hammer. I can hit someone. I want to. Yes, sometimes we want to kill someone. We are so angry with things. Yes, we all have been there. We know we want, but we can't. There's laws. There is, not only God's laws. There is, human laws that, enforce this. You cannot. But, but if I can, doesn't mean I must do it. If I can, how can I say an example? With the hammer, I can do. I can hit someone. I can hit a nail. I can break a piggy bank. I can do, everything. But doesn't mean I must do it. So there's things I can do. Yes, I can do, but I should not do it. I should not. This is not, because this is bothering the next to me. This is going to affect their peace and tranquility. So we don't do it, So we just give to ourselves, for example, It's the same with freedom of speech. I know you have your opinion, you have the right to have your opinion. Talk to everyone about this, or hurt other people. That's something you should think about before, posting, before saying, before, especially if someone is um has a lot of followers on the media, because it's kind of spreading this opinion, this word, that all I want I can, neither all I can I must, we would be a little bit better. But again, we are in our transition period, and on the earth we are in a planetary transition where we have to see a lot of things. We being aware of a lot of things that we were not that aware. We knew that happens, but we didn't see it. Now we're seeing it's very common. You see people, oh, nowadays is much more violent. Nowadays is more this. No, it's not more. We just being more aware that those things but always happened, but now we're being aware. We're trying to tackle, to fight this, not to be that much, um, not to be, that much blind to think life is good, everything, No, there is a lot of bad things that happen on our world. It's kind of, the things. You have a room and you have a light bulb of 60. But that's your messy room. You just put things there. You don't clean. You're not gonna see much of the dirty or the messiness with 60. But when you change to 100, you see a lot more messiness and dirt, dust around it. That's what we happen is happening now on the planetary. One of the things is happening on the planetary transition. We're being more aware of the things, oh, it's being like this. We need to change, really need to change, because that's the time, you know, and our free will is the tool to help us make that good decisions. We are more aware. Now we don't have the, oh, I didn't know that. We are on the time that we know it and we have seen it. But what did we do to make it better? To improve ourselves, to make a better selves, a version of ourselves, and that's it's our it's kind of, we don't have the skills anymore. Now we have to tackle our selfishness, and otherwise we're not going to be here for the next phase, which is the regeneration phase, which is much more good than evil. It's a happier world. We have this transition. That's our um, deadline. We are on the deadline. There's no excuse anymore. We have to make better version of ourselves. Again, with ourselves. That's not competition with the other. I'm better than you. No, no, no. It's always me with myself and God. That's it. And free will helps us. When we make those decisions, good decisions, we are on the right path. We developing. But even if we make the bad decisions, we're gonna, just suffer some consequences to help us get better on the track. And that's it. That's how we grow. Anyway, that's all I had to say for today. Just gonna talk about, because I didn't mention, but yeah, I got the Spirits book, the Law of Liberty, and chapter 7, question 399, and the Gospel According to the Spiritism, chapter 7, 1907, and Dictionary of the Soul by psychographic by Chico Xavier from the Emmanuel Spirit Emmanuel. Anyway, and our activities, we are still on Facebook Live, Facebook page, Spiritual Society of Ireland, at the public meetings like today from 11:15. I always do less than 12:15. Talk show every Tuesday and Thursday, and the study group. If you want to be part of the Zoom meeting study group, we have you just send an email to spiritusireland@gmail.com and we send the Zoom link. It's open to everyone. And I think, yeah, and I'm gonna finish with our final prayer. Um, if you all would like to sit comfortably and deep breath, let's connect with our mentors, our spiritual guardians, the good spirits. Let's thank for the day today, God. Dear Lord, thank you for the day. Thank you for being here with us. Thank you for the wise words you have given us. Thank you, Jesus, for the teachings. And God bless everyone. So be it. So I hope you enjoy your day. It's a lovely Sunday, sunny. It's going to be 19 degrees today. So I enjoy, go to the park, barbecue. And thank you, Marcela. Thank you for everything. And have a lovely day. Bye bye.